Welcome to another episode of Bailey Cooks. This week, it's all about Mexico. Mole is not only the national dish of Mexico, but it's prominently featured here. So that's exactly what I'm going to make when I get home. This is just one of the Mexican markets. There are so many cool ingredients here. There's lots of fresh vegetables, lots of fresh fruits, just literally piles of it everywhere you go. There's also a man with squeaky toys following us and some dry dead fish. It can't all be great. All of this gorgeous food has got me so inspired to cook when I get back. Back from Mexico. I'm all set to go get my groceries to make you guys some nice Mexican food. These are the roads currently. I think I'll be staying home. Yeah.
Oh, hi. There you are. So as you can see, I've just returned home from the beautiful sunny Mexico. I was greeted at home, greeted by the cold and the blowing in the snow. I really like the snow. Not the most popular opinion here in Canada this time of year. So while I was there, I picked up some beautiful dried chilies that we're gonna be using in today's dish, mole. Now, mole technically just means sauce spread, saucy spread, but mole kind of specifically refers to that dark chocolate sauce with like 1,001 different ingredients. I am not going to be doing 1,001 ingredients. I'm going to be doing probably closer to 10 or 12, but I have seen some recipes, in particular not Enrique Iglesias. I don't believe Enrique Iglesias cooked. Enrique Olvera, the famous Mexican chef who made a 400-day-old mole. This mole, not only was it aged, but it had a ton of different ingredients. So you can make yours upwards of 200 ingredients. It's limitless. It's based on the region. Have fun with it. Have your own little mole fiesta. Excuse me, I'm just eating some of the chocolate that was intended for cooking. I'm gonna introduce you to a couple kinds of chilies that we're gonna be using today. This is a guajillo chili, so it's got that beautiful, rich red color, smells really, really fragrant. It's not crazy spicy. This is a pasilla chili. You can just, compliment my pronunciation skills anywhere down there in the comments. And another really rich pepper. It's not as hot as a jalapeno, but it's got a little kick to it. It even kind of looks like a foot that can give you a kick right up your ass. This is an ancho chili. This is probably more common. It's like a poblano pepper, and this is not particularly spicy. We're just looking for that kind of soft floral taste from this. And lastly, chiles árboles. Even though these are very small, they are very spicy. Sure, us under 5'5" ladies can attest to that. So we're not gonna be adding too many of those into our mole. I'm gonna start by chopping up one whole onion. I'm heating up my pan. I've put in a little bit of oil. I'm rehydrating these peppers in some warm water. Then when they're soft, I'm gonna take out the seeds and chop them up and add them in with the onion that's caramelizing. This one is just like a really simple, basic recipe. There can be nuts, there can be chocolate, there can be seeds, there can be spices of all kinds. It gets a little overwhelming at times just thinking about it. This is great on enchiladas, corn tortillas, anything really. Woo, those peppers are strong. You want to make sure you get all those seeds, especially on the arbol chilies, just because that's where all the heat is. I've given everything a pretty rough chop. My peppers are in there now. I'm going to be blending this all together later, so it's not crucial that they're in like perfect little pieces. So now I'm just gonna add some garlic. I've just quartered this because I don't want it to burn while it's cooking in there. Now we're getting to the fun part. Now we're adding our spices. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of oregano. If you have Mexican oregano, I would suggest you use that. This is the wrong lid. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of cumin. I can't answer, I'm making mole. 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, smoked paprika, and regular sweet paprika here. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of each. Cause I like it smoky, don't you? Don't be shy or scared when you're adding the cinnamon because you're used to seeing it in sweet things. Indian cuisine, Mexican cuisine, cinnamon can really add a ton. And in a sauce like this where it's kind of bordering on savory sweet, cinnamon's your friend. Cinnamon is your best good friend. We're gonna do 1 big teaspoon of cinnamon. Maybe just a little more. Couldn't hurt. And now we're gonna add a big heaping tablespoon of really good quality cocoa. We're just gonna let those toast out a bit with our onions and our peppers. It's smelling really, really fragrant. A lot of stuff going on in there. It's almost like you're making a curry base. It's a little dry, so I think I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. A lot more oil. It's been about 4 minutes of this toasting, so now I'm just gonna add 3 tablespoons of flour so that when I pour my stock in, it can thicken up properly. So just cook it, let it toast. Let that flour get a little bit brown. The next step is we're gonna pour out 4 cups of water, add about a tablespoon of vegetable stock, and we're gonna blend this. A cooler kid might have a mortar and pestle. After blending, you can see that that's taking on a really nice creamy consistency. I'm gonna pour this back in the pan. We're gonna add half a cup of really good quality chocolate. I've got 70% chocolate here. Whatever you have is probably fine as long as it's not like a Snickers bar. I'm not gonna measure here because if I measure, then that means I can't justify eating as much of it. I'm also gonna add a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. I'm gonna let this cook out for a little while. You can actually let mole cook basically all dang day long if you want, and it will, after a certain point, kind of like soy sauce, actually begin to take on a different flavor profile. Considering it's got such complex ingredients, it's actually surprisingly versatile. There's our beautiful, rich, chocolatey, peppery mole sauce. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Bailey Cooks. I hope to see you here again next time. Cheers, guys.